We are just moments away from Trump signing the big, beautiful bill. And right now, we got to talk about before that, because I'm going to show you everything. But before that, happy July 4th to everybody. Make sure to smash the like button. Let me know where you guys are watching from. I do have some breaking news here, right? A lot of things are happening. There is a call to action today to burn American flags. That's what's happening right now all around. Now, we have Trump signing the big, beautiful bill. I want to go through some news with y'all. Let me know where you guys are watching from. Spread the word on this live stream. We're going to be covering the big historic day because everybody is either one side is melting down and burning flags or the other side is waving the flags like no tomorrow. So we got a lot to talk about. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's an Independence Day. It's July 4th. It is the 249th birthday of this nation. And we got Wisconsin in the building. Again, as you can see here, anti-Americans burning the American flag. There was a call to action today. Everybody, for some reason, hates America today, but not me. And I hope not you either. Though you may not be happy with the way the government works at times and the decisions that we make as a country or that we've made before. But man, burning the American flag today, it just seems very far off. But that's where we're at. So we got Maryland in the building. We got American flags all over. Drop some American flags, man. I think it's 249th. Next year will be 250th birthday. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I must know that I'm right there. For sure, I know that I'm right. So yeah, so they're burning the American flags here today. Apparently, Anarchist blog has put out a call to action for a competition to capture and burn any patriotic flags on July 4th. They urge comrades to steal American flags, Trump flags, Blue Lives Matter flags, any pro-law enforcement flags. So anarchists are out. They're out today. We got the American flags. Yes, we got the American flags all over. Shout out to you guys. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. Also, there was a huge update today. Apparently, 92% of Republicans are extremely proud to be American versus only 24% of Democrats proud to be Americans. Take a listen.
Erica, my friend, happy 4th of July. And today on our Independence Day, I'm looking into whether or not Americans feel proud to be an American. And as it turns out, Democrats, their percentage who say they're proud to be an American has fallen through the floor. What are we talking about? Take a look here. Democrats' pride to be an American, extremely or very proud. In 2015, look at this. 4 out of 5 Democrats were extremely or very proud to be an American. That number has plummeted to just 36% now in 2025. A low this century has fallen by more than half since 2015 as Donald Trump has become, of course, president once again this year. Now, what is driving that decline? Well, a lot of it has to do with age. What are we talking about? Well, Generation Z Democrats, proud to be an American or not. Of course, Generation Z, born since 1997. Look at this. Only 24% of Generation Z Democrats are extremely or very proud to be an American. That is actually lower, Erica. That is lower than the percentage who say they have little or no pride to be an American at 32%. I just never thought I'd see these numbers based upon where we were a decade ago, but that's exactly where we are. Now,
that is crazy. That is where we're at as a country. That is where we're at, ladies and gentlemen. So again, welcome. Spread the word. Spread the word. Trump will be signing the big, beautiful bill in just coming moments. He has made an announcement. I actually want to go to the announcement that he made. Before I go to the announcement that he made, again, the big news today is that there's going to be a huge signing. There are protests everywhere. People are flipping the flags upside down in distress over this country. People are not happy with this country. And the other side is very happy. We got anarchists. We got people like this. Oh, he's losing his mind. Hakeem Jeffries. What's going on here, bro? Whoa. Yeah, it's not looking too good. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Yeah, he's not too happy about that. He's not too happy about that, Gigi. It's not too happy about that. All right, so I did see a Trump video. Trump posted this video. Then I'm going to show you what he posted in the announcement today. But this is the post that he made about America today. Take a listen.
Wonderful day We celebrate our history, our heroes, our heritage, our great American flag, and our freedom. Every American heart should swell with pride. Every American family should cheer with delight. And every American patriot should be filled with joy, because each of you lives in the most magnificent country in the history of the world. We will proclaim the ideals of the Declaration of Independence, and we will never surrender the spirit and the courage and the cause of July 4th, 1776. Wonderful day.
That was the video that Trump posted. Yes, that was the video. He posted that earlier today. So now let's go back to the anarchist stuff again. Awaiting President Trump to sign the big beautiful bill into law. That's going to be happening in a few. So stick with me here. Make sure to smash the like button. Let me know where y'all watching. Well, we got 800 in here, 800 people in here. Thank you so much for being here. If you just coming in here, please let me know where you guys are watching from. Let's see real quick. I do have, okay, so apparently this is what it looked like today so far. I'm not going to show the burning of it, but apparently this is what's going on. All right, so I'm not going to show, obviously I'm not going to show the burning of it, but that's the trend today all over the country. Maine, Galveston, Texas. What have I ever heard? I heard a lot of things about Galveston. Appalachian Mountains. We got Brooklyn, New York in the building. What else we got? Oregon in the building. We got Canada. Canada's here. Lou used to live on Drake Ave in New Row. Shout out to New Rochelle. New Rochelle in the building. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, it's a good day. What do you guys have planned today? I'm gonna be watching this. And then, obviously, eventually I'm probably gonna go and try to see if I can blow up some of these fireworks that I bought last night. I bought some fireworks yesterday. I did. All right. I do want to kind of throw it back here. Pause. Reminder that if you are fully vaccinated and up to date on boosters, you are allowed to celebrate for July 4th. Let's throw it back real quick to where we were versus where we are right now. Thank you so much for your $50 donation. We got North Carolina in the building. What's up? Welcome, North Carolina. Thank you so much for your $50 donation. That means the world to me. Yeah, I don't want to throw it back. Pause. Here we go.
I need you to get vaccinated when it's your turn and when you can find an opportunity. And to help your family, your friends, your neighbors get vaccinated as well. Because here's the point. If we do all this, if we do our part, if we do this together, by July the 4th, there's a good chance you, your families and friends will be able to get together in your backyard or in your neighborhood and have a cookout or a barbecue and celebrate Independence Day. That doesn't mean large events with lots of people together, but it does mean small groups will be able to get together. I need you to get vaccinated.
Yeah, so I think we've come a long way as a country. Hey, no tax on tips. Call it a tip and not donation. Thank you. Still, YouTube takes some of that percentage, but still, yes, I understand what you mean. Thank you so much. Yeah, so apparently years ago, where we were as a country is that, yeah, you just had to be vaccinated to be there. And apparently, I never took it. I don't know. Maybe some of y'all took it. I don't know. Did you take it? Let me know down in the comments if you did. Okay. Other big breaking news here. Apparently, the mayor, the upcoming mayor, it looks like he's gonna win. This dude is leading by a landslide. Maybe he can still lose. Apparently, Zoran Mandani has identified as a black man on his college application. And then I wanted to show a picture for Independence Day. Let's make it fun. Let's make it fun for Independence Day. A lot of you guys are no, did not take it. No, I did not take it. No, pure blood. No, I didn't take it. None. Nope. Okay. Shout out to you if you did not take it. If you did not take it, if you did, we're with you. We're praying for you. If you didn't, we're with you and we're praying for you regardless. We are all made in the image of the Lord. And I didn't take it. But if you did, I'm praying for you. Okay, so apparently this is what's going on July 4th. He identified as a black man on his application. Let me move myself to the side here. So Democrats are now identifying him as a black man. We got Pocahontas as a Native American. We got Sarah McBride as a woman, and we got Joe Biden sharp as a target, as a tag. So apparently, this is what Independence Day looks like for the Democrats, for the Democratic Party as a whole. We got, this is a black man, this is a Native American, this is a woman, and this guy is sharp as a tack. All right, but wait, it gets better. It gets better. A combat veteran, Tim Walz, McDonald's worker, Kamala Harris, and a Bronx girl, AOC, and then a grill master, Chuck Schumer, the grill master. You guys remember that video? Oh man! So this is happy 4th of July to the Democrats, my favorite party to hate and to not like. So that's that's some of the narratives that they got cooking up over there. You know, this guy 100% is a grill master. You know, this is my favorite Bronx girl. Never seen her in the Bronx before, but apparently she's from here. She's from where I'm from. Never seen her before at all. But yes, so we got 1,200 people. Shout out to you guys. Again, we're waiting for Trump to come out. And as we're waiting for Trump to come and sign this bill, I did want to play this video that I saw that was special. I want to make this live stream a lot special. Shout out to this beautiful young lady. And I need you guys to take a listen to this. Take a listen to this. Oh my goodness. Oh Lord, have mercy. Wow. So I saw that and I was like, you know what? If I do a live stream today, which I know that I would, man, woo, that, you know what? That gives me the chills. That gives me the chills. Nah, she's singing that, man. You ever, man, there's so many people that sang this song and it doesn't hit, but man, there's some people that do this. And man, it just hits so differently, bro. It just makes me like, it just something happens to my soul, man. That was unbelievably amazing. Thank you so much for your $10 donation. Carl Center says, I have sympathy for the people burning the American flag. America has been involved in horrible things all over the world, including 9/11, COVID, overthrowing 90 governments. Yes, I agree with that. Yes, but there is a difference. There is a difference between burning the American flag because you hate capitalism, you hate white people, you hate America because of what it stands for, versus the way that we feel is that we don't like America because of the government and because of what they've done and because of the politicians in Washington. There's a huge difference. There's a huge difference. You know what I mean? So that's the difference between hating America and the government and its past and what we've done to other countries. I agree with you on that. But one thing I don't agree is that they hate patriarchy or they hate people that love America or the nuclear family or money. You know what I mean? That's the difference. There's a huge difference. So yes, if somebody wants to burn the American flag, no, why would I agree with that? You know what I mean? I just wouldn't agree with that. So that's why. Like, these are the same people that burn the American flag. They don't feel what we feel for the country and the disappointment that we feel in the country. What they feel is they would love to tear it all down because they're anarchists. They have no families. They have nothing to look forward to. They don't like the country and what it stands for. They don't like President Trump or you know what? They are usually the type of people that will tell you that, yes, young men and women, you know what? Young kids should be able to transition before the age of 18. That's who. We just don't have those things in common. Nuclear family, Christ. They usually don't believe in Jesus Christ. So yeah, we just don't have these things in common. So yeah, I can tell you that I agree with the fact that they're mad at America for what it's done and what the past has been. Yes, I agree with them on that. But one thing I don't agree is that we just don't see morally, we just don't see eye to eye. So that's why I don't think it's the same thing. But I get, and I appreciate your donation. All right, so there's more happening. Let's actually go here real quick. I do want to go to what we got. We got an update here. Trump will be coming out in just a few minutes. I want to make sure that I have this live stream up. If you haven't smashed the like button, make sure to smash the like button. We're going to have one of the best live streams today. I promise you that. We're going to kill it today. We are going to kill it today. Let's actually go to RSBN. I'm a friend of the show. Let's see what they got going on over there.
Digits of getting people returned to our country as he continues to work to do that.
All right, so I'm going to keep this tab open. I'm not going to go there just yet. I'm going to keep showing videos. But again, President Trump to sign the big, beautiful bill today, which is historic. He really wanted to do this on July 4th, on America's Independence Day. He also announced something yesterday that I do want to show y'all because a lot of people are melting down about what's about to happen. Let me see. Hopefully this audio is good enough for this. Okay, this is the announcement that he made yesterday. For those who don't know, take a listen.
I even think we're going to have a UFC fight. Does anybody watch UFC, the great day in the world? We're going to have a UFC fight. We're going to have a UFC fight. Think of this, on the grounds of the White House. We have a lot of land there. We're going to build a little, we're not, Dana's going to do it. Dana's great, one of a kind. We're going to have a UFC fight, championship fight, full fight, like 20, 25,000 people. And we're going to do that as part of 250 also. We're going to have some incredible. I even think we're going to have a UFC.
So Trump is already planning what's going to happen next year. Next year, he's planning on having a UFC fight. Many people are saying that Conor McGregor is going to fight. That's going to be crazy. So he's going to have a fight on the lawn. And you can just imagine how freak people out. People are freaked out by the fact that Trump has made the announcement that on the 250th birthday, which is next year, next July 4th. I will be 29 years old, by the way. Oh, man. 29 years old, that will be. But, yeah, so he's going to have a UFC fight in the White House. That's going to be insane. But, yes, people were freaking out over that. And, of course, we already know they freak out over everything. You know what they're freaking out about? Is that Trump is going to be president next year. All right. I do want to show another video here. Let's see what this is right here as we await President Trump.
I want to say thank you, America. Thank you, American people. I'm a Korean immigrant that came to America in 1976 with my mom and dad. Thank you to my mom and dad bring me to America. I started with a paper boy working at the restaurant and saved the money, put that money down payment for buy dry cleaner. I had a dry cleaner for 20 years. Then I sold the shopping plaza and I retired early 40s. Without being come to America, never made it this kind of dream come true. I want to say happy birthday to America, 249 years old, and I'm still learning English. I still have a thick accent, but it doesn't bother me. This is a learning opportunity for all the immigrants. Thank you, America. Thank you, Americans. I love you all.
See, this is what confuses me, right? This is what confuses. We see a video like this of this. Obviously, this man has Asian descent, right? Comes from another place. He came here years ago. But this is what bothers me is like, how can this man be this grateful for this country, right? He came in here, he did it legally. He's in America. He got the American flag. But yet there's so many Americans that would literally call this guy out and say that he is terrible and that he shouldn't be doing this. Now you should hate America. Again, like we go back to that real conversation, which we are having, which we did have, but man, it's pretty insane, the stances. All right. Speaking of the big beautiful bill, there was a video. I'm gonna show you guys again. I'm gonna keep showing you guys videos. Thank you guys for coming in. Make sure to keep sharing this live stream. Again, President Trump will be coming out. This is like a pre-show to his signing. That's gonna be huge. Obviously, we know that it's been everywhere. Many people think that this is the end of America by this bill going through. Many people are probably gonna die. According to Democrats, that's what they're saying. And they've been kind of saying stuff like this before even the election. Remember Project 2025 and all these crazy things that they said were going to happen. But I do have something that I want to play from JD Vance. I saw this earlier. This is the vice president. This is what he's saying about all of this.
Yeah, you know, one of the things you see all across our country, unfortunately, is the rise of socialism, which we think is a very destructive ideology. We think it's going to make Americans poorer and more miserable. It's going to mean a lot of hunger and a lot of sadness all across our country. But you know, one of the things the president and I both believe in is that we really want to give people a stake in the future of the economy. The way you fight back against socialism is to make our young people feel like they have a stake in the future. And what these accounts do is actually give people from the minute they're born, they of course can't access it until they're adults, but give them a stake in the great American economy, allow them to feel like they have a stake in the future. And I think it's going to reduce poverty in this country. I think it's going to give young people a sense like they have a stake in the future. It's just going to be good all around. So I know Senator Cruz and a lot of folks worked very hard on that piece of legislation. The president cared a lot about it. We were thrilled to see it in the final package.
Is there anything about it, the devil in the details, I guess, as far as the biggest challenge is setting something like that up? I mean, even if Senator Holden comes from a banking background, but is there anything about it that is harder than it looks?
Look, you've always got to implement this stuff well, and that's one of the things we believe in the Trump administration is you don't just sort of pass the law. You've actually got to work at it and make sure you do it the right way. But I think on at the end of the day, we're going to say this is a very important way of giving young Americans, I mean, literal children right now, a stake in the future of their country. It's going to allow people to build wealth. It's going to make it easier for them to actually have a little bit of a nest egg that they can fall back on. There are unfortunately way too many Americans after the 4 years of the Biden economy who are living on less than $500 in their bank account. We want to give our fellow citizens an opportunity to build wealth. What better way to start than from the ground up when they're young children?
Yeah, I told you, start from the beginning. Some people are too far gone, but you have to start from the beginning. Gotta attack that in a good way. You have to attack that. And give me 1 second, guys. I need some more coffee in my system. It's July 4th, man. It's July 4th. I mean, come on. All right, let's see. We got a troll in the comments. Where are all my bootlicker brainwashed maggots? Bootlicking. What is that? What do you mean by that? What you mean by that, bro? You coming in here to troll? I feel you. I hope you're doing good. But let's actually go to the biggest bootlicker there is, President Obama. So President Obama, ex-president of the United States, he says more than 16 million Americans are at risk of losing their health care because Republicans in Congress are rushing to pass a bill that would cut federal funding for Medicaid and weaken the Affordable Care Act. If the House passes this bill, it will increase costs and hurt working class families for generations to come. Call your representatives today and tell them to vote no on this bill. Then something happened in this comment that actually kind of ratioed what Obama had to say, right? This lady says, "You did this to me, took me off a barely affordable $600 a month plan with a $500 DED and forced me into an $1,135. Let's just add the extra $35 a month plan with a 10K DED with no difference in lifetime benefits. That was for me only, not a family plan. So you can stifle your hot takes and shove them up your ass." That's what this comment says. So Obama basically came out, and just like everybody else, they're pushing the fact that this bill is going to be destructive. But then people were like, "Yo, bro, you actually made it worse. Like, you literally took people off a plan that was affordable with $600 a month with a 500 DED." So yeah. Yeah, that's what's going on. That's what's going on here. Trump signing the bill today. Again, we're waiting on him to do that. Let me go refresh. Let's see if we can get an update here. Let's see if we can get an update. Photo op, boom. That's what somebody said in the comments. Oh yeah, this is the video that we were watching. We were watching the video of Democrats versus Republicans on who's more proud to be American.
But that's exactly where we are. Now, if Democrats have extremely less pride to be an American than they used to, what about Republicans? Well, this is where the trend line gets interesting, because with Republicans, there is no trend line. In fact, take a look here. Republicans' pride to be an American, extremely or very proud. In 2015, it was 90% back when Barack Obama was serving his second term. Now in Donald Trump's second term, it's basically the same percentage, 92%. So Republicans still are extremely or very proud to be an American. Democrats, on the other hand, have seen their numbers fall through the floor, led, of course, by the youngest generation, Generation Z. We'll see how these numbers turn going forward. But the bottom line is, whether or not the folks out there are extremely or very proud to be an American, I'm extremely or very proud to be with you, Erica Hill. Happy July 4th.
Happy July 4th. So that was actually groundbreaking stuff from CNN earlier. When they were talking about, who's proud or who's not proud to be American. And yeah, those are the percentages. That's what's going on. Okay, let's see. We have Pocahontas. Apparently, she's freaking out on MSNBC. Let's see what this is about.
Comes in and basically starts the dumbest trade war in the history of this country. This is going to be about potentially millions of people losing their jobs. It's going to be about millions of people losing their savings, many of people losing their retirement security, and at the same time taking on even higher costs for everything they buy. So that's going to push us in potentially to foreclosures or people being pushed out of their apartments. I remember this from 2008 and how long it took us to dig our way out. And to this day, there are families, there are communities that still haven't recovered. Recessions can be all those fancy charts and graphs, but at the end of the day, people feel them one person at a time, and they can be devastating. Comes in and basically starts the...
Yeah, so that's Pocahontas, apparently. Yeah, so she's... People are saying in the comments that this is one of the best comments I've seen, right? This is a comment from this video, and I want to read this to you guys, right? The sky is falling act has gotten old. Now, the sky has fallen. This is like the Democrats' go-to, in my opinion, when they have nothing else that they can run on. And this man says, the sky is falling, the act is getting old. Trump didn't crash the economy. The markets are soaring. Gas is cheaper than 4 years ago. We're not at war with Iran, and Democrats are nothing but drama and resistance. That's what they've become. Now, I don't care if you don't like Trump. Again, am I open to a new party in the future? Absolutely, bro. Like, why wouldn't I, right? Well, the Republicans, they suck, right? We like Trump for many different reasons, but I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I wouldn't be open if I liked somebody in the future, right? Let's just say I'm 35 years old and there's a Democrat that finally meets my threshold of politicians. That looks like it's going to be a long time from now. But if there's a Democrat that's not woke, I hate the word woke nowadays, but let's just go like this Democrat opposes children transitioning, or this Democrat is very pro-family, or he's pro-life, or he has these stances where they meet in the middle a lot. When's the last Democrat that was a moderate that met in the middle, that actually did not like what the left has been doing, doesn't like socialism, doesn't like communism? When's the last Democrat that you felt like, you know what, I could get behind this guy. This guy has common sense. If you look around to these politicians today and you look at their belief systems and you look like, we haven't, it's been a long time. Fetterman, that's what I'm saying. It's been a long time. And those Democrats have come over and they've become Republican. So it's weird. You know what I mean? So yeah, if there's a Democrat that comes out and then I like him, yeah, I'll tell you immediately. But Fetterman is, somebody said Fetterman, like there's not one Dean Phillips is probably the only Republican that I'm like, okay, I mean, the only Democrat that I could say, wow, this guy has somewhat common sense. He's not what he understands, you know, what's going on here. But can you name me some Democrats that you probably look for? You're like, okay, you know, I can listen to this guy. I don't know. Dean Phillips? It's like people don't know. What makes me mad about this, right? It's like, oh, why are so many immigrants voting for Trump? You still don't see why, bro? Like you still don't get it? Like the fact that some people still don't get it, it boggles my mind why immigrants are pro-Trump, or why they look at Trump and it's like, okay, I want to vote for this guy. I think this guy is good. I think what he's saying is good. It's still mind-boggling to me that people just don't understand, you know, the alternatives. Imagine Kamala Harris as president today. By the way, I got a question for y'all. How much is gas near you? I saw gas here in Texas and by Houston. I'm outside of Houston, but I saw gas was about $2.59 in certain areas. I did see $2.49. And I remember in 2021, man, gas was like $5 in New York City. New York City is still at $3.05. Some areas $2.95. $3.15, I think, was the highest that I saw when I was out there. So yeah, $3.04 Connecticut, $3.34, $3.49, $3.09 in these areas. $3.19 in Indianapolis. Yeah, no, LA. See, LA is different. Yeah, Dallas, Texas gas is so cheap, bro. It's unbelievable. $2.60, yeah, $3.39, bro. At some point in New York City, gas was. I remember seeing gas like $4.50 at some point, like $5 almost at New York City. Like $3, it went down to $3 at some point as well. But California is cooked. The rest of the country is like enjoying cheaper gas than it was in the last 4 years. But for some reason, California is just $7. Like California is cooked, bro. You guys are cooked. I'm still enjoying my Tesla, even though Elon Musk is, you know, he's doing other stuff, obviously. Somebody said this is the most American thing they've seen. Okay, let's see. This is the most American thing someone has seen. Let's see. Yo, what? Oh my God. Yo, it doesn't get more American than this. I'm gonna be honest, child. This dude is like, he's on a boat, fireworks going off. He just left it. Yeah, America's a crazy place. I'll tell you that. America is a very, very crazy place. All right. More news about Zoran Mandani. Again, we're waiting for President Trump to come out and sign the bill. Let me refresh some of these things. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Somebody said that's definitely Florida. Give me 1 second. Somebody's ringing my door.
Better and better. You're going to see it get better and better. So as we chart our course toward the next 250 years, let us rededicate ourselves to one nation under God. Right?
He said something really key there. He said rededicate. And, you know, a lot of us brought up in this country, you know, you're thinking about faith, right? And sometimes you brought up a certain faith and maybe then you rededicate to that faith. And it's always usually after a time of, you know, exploring life and or going up through ups and downs. And you're just like, okay, you know what? No, I'm rededicating my life, you know, and that's something I know I did back in the day. I was brought up a Christian, and it's easy to be, you know, brought up in this free country, and, you know, you go to church and you have a heart for God and all that. But then, life happens and you're like, okay, so how do I handle this? And you figure it out, you learn. Life's a classroom, right? And then you also can rededicate your life to God. You can, pray to Jesus or pray to God and just be like, God, help me, and really seek him. And the Bible says, if you seek, you'll find. If you want to test that, it's allowed. If you want to seek God and find him, I mean, it's something that is one of the best things on earth to do. I think number one, actually, because the greatest commandment to love the Lord God with all your heart, soul, strength, and mind. So, and your neighbor as yourself. So I really think it's important stuff, and it's a great lesson to learn through life. Anyway, I'm speaking like I'm like 85 years old or something here. Anyway, all right, let's do this. Let's go to a flashback Friday in Council Bluffs, Iowa. This was, I think it was in 24, it might have been 23. The years they do come together when it comes to the campaign trail, because we know that at Right Side, there are a lot of rallies, and there will be, I thought about this earlier, towards the end of President Trump's term in 27, 28, think about the amount of rallies that are going to happen. President Trump is probably going to hit that campaign trail for whoever he endorses to be the next president of the United States. Be kind of fun. And I'm sure conservative media will be covering it. And I know Right Side Broadcasting Network will definitely cover it, as we are live right now at 4:02, Friday, July 4th. Thanks again for streaming in. As soon as we see a live picture there at the White House, we'll take you there live. As the president said on Truth Social yesterday, that at 4 o'clock, and then he also said in an interview outside of Air Force One that there would be a bill signing, that according to the president. So we're just following what he was saying at 5 o'clock. So we're going to just monitor the developments here. But we do know definitely tonight, at 9 o'clock Eastern. We'll start our coverage at 8:30. The president and the first lady will participate in the July 4th fireworks celebration. So looking forward to that. Before we get to the Flashback Friday, let's talk about Colonial Metals Group, one of our great sponsors here at Right Side. So all you have to do is go to freegoldguide.com/RSBN, and you'll get all the information you need on gold and silver as a backup to the dollar. You can protect your IRA or 401k with gold, all 100% tax-free. And always great to get something for free. And you can do that as the first step of interest in Colonial Metals Group, freegoldguide.com/RSBN. Let's go to callsheet.com/RSBN as well. Who will President Trump pardon this year is one of the questions people are asking on Callsheet. There's a lot of different things going on with this great website, callsheet.com/RSBN. We know this, that these are the real money markets, people trading on what they think will happen. They're often more accurate than polls because money's on the line. So Callsheet, we're told, has got this more than 1 million users and has facilitated over $2 billion worth of trades. So I do like to check.
My bad, guys. I was at the door. Nah, it was all good. It was this guy named Brody. It's like some solar panel stuff. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. I've never had this many white people knock on my door. So many white people knocking on my door. But no, it was some solar stuff. They'll come tomorrow. Some energy saver stuff. You guys know how this goes. You guys know how it goes. You know what I mean? So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. No, the solar, I don't know. He was just talking and chatting. And I didn't have nobody to answer the door for him. So he kept ringing the door. Do I pray? Of course I pray. All right, guys. Of course. Why wouldn't you pray? Oh, I do want to see this real quick. Apparently, okay, so I want to go to Zoran Mandani real quick as we await President Trump to come out and make his big, beautiful bill signing. Thank you guys for being here. Okay, so Zoran Mandani, I don't know if you guys know, but he apparently identified as Asian and African American on college application, New York Times says. Apparently, he put like he was black. Zoran Mandani, a lot of you guys know who that is. This guy right here, Evan Loves Wharf, he's like the biggest leftist. I don't know who this guy is, but he is like the biggest leftist account on X. And apparently he says he's a brown guy born in Africa with a South Asian parents. What was he supposed to put, right? Watch this. The fact that leftists are making excuses for an Indian man whose family took advantage of a lottery program designed for Ugandans and who then checked the box of African American so he could take advantage of affirmative action, which was designed to designed for the descendants of pre-civil rights Black Americans, tells you everything you need to know about them. It also obviously tells you what you need to know about him and his family. They game systems for their own advantage and corrupt them. Excuse me. This is a common theme amongst most demographics, but let's pretend not to notice. I'm gonna repost this. Because Mandani, bro, this dude right here. There's so much coming out about him. I want to play this video by Carrie Lake real quick.
Look at this. They sat down one of their anchors with Zoran Mandani, who may be the next mayor of New York City. And look at the laughter and the smiles and, oh, Mr. Socialist. Look at that. I mean, when you talk about the old days of 60 Minutes and investigative journalism, it's like, let's have a little cup of tea with the socialist. And I listened to it all last night in context. And there were some good questions, I'll admit. And then there were others like, did you realize that people are going to basically be so racist against you because you're Muslim? I mean, they're just the people on the left in the media. They just fall all over themselves to suck up to these socialists. What's going on?
You know, I'm just watching that. And if you just watch the body language there, it looks like one of those speed dating. Like, I mean, it looks like she's in love with the guy. And imagine if you would watch that same reporter interviewing President Trump or a member of the Trump administration. You'd probably see daggers coming out of the eyes. I mean, this is what we've come to expect with the fake news. And look, if NPR is as good as they claim to be, and people on the far left claim it to be, then they should have absolutely zero trouble finding people.
Yeah, so real quick, not to interrupt Carrie Lake here, but why are they so friendly? Why? By the way, thank you so much, Chase, thank you, my bro, for your $10 donation. They should change the laws. If you are not born in America, you should not be able to hold a seat in government at all. The risk is too high. Yeah, so I know that if you're not a natural born citizen, you can't be president. But if you convert eventually into an American, I know that you can run for office, any other office except presidency.
Who want to donate money or finding advertisers, become a commercial outlet. And if you're that good, you should do quite well. But the hard-earned, the hardworking taxpayers of this country should not be funding an outlet that is pushing a leftist agenda and in many cases an anti-American agenda. And that's why President Trump is asking for Voice of America and U.S. Agency for Global Media that I oversee to be brought down to its statutory minimum. And then next fiscal year, he's asking for the elimination of this agency. We have to start looking at what is the value of what our taxpayer money is spending and what is it doing? Are we getting anything back from it? And unfortunately, with U.S. Agency for Global Media, we're seeing mismanagement. We're seeing the importation of spies and insider threats to America, wasteful money, wasteful spending of money, and actually putting out, in many cases, an anti-American product overseas for our adversaries to pick up on.
The fact that the taxpayers fund NPR and NPR is pushing socialism, it just lets you know we are in dangerous territory right now. We really are. It's not looking the best. I'm gonna be honest with y'all guys. It's not looking the best at all. Okay, so I saw this real quick before we go back to Zoran Mandani. A mural in France depicts the Lady Liberty covering her face in shame in response to President Trump's policies. Apparently, this is a mural that's going viral in France.
Mankind, that word should have new meaning for all of us today. We can't be consumed by our petty differences anymore. We will be united in our common interest. Perhaps it's fate that today is the 4th.
Yeah, so that's the mural. Hey, we got a special guest in the building, the X-Ray Podcast. What's up, bro? How are you, man? X-Ray Podcast. Go check them out, guys. Damn, I just had your hat, Julio. I don't know where it's at. I had your hat. Actually, I have it right here. Let me see if I can find it. Yep, it's right here, your hat. Let me wear it right quick for my boy. Yeah, so that's That's what's going on right there. All right, so back to Mamdani real quick. So, yeah, the story is we caught Zoran Mandani. Apparently, people are saying that he caught him applying as a black man. Why did he apply as a black man? This was Mamdani identified as Asian and African American on college application to take advantage of the system. Apparently, that's what's going on here. You can't make this stuff up. Like literally, you can't make this stuff up. Zoran Mandani, the Democrat running for mayor of New York City, was born in Uganda. He doesn't consider himself black, but said the application didn't allow for complexity of his background. So, yeah, I guess that's his excuse for that. All right, just in from Axios, with B-2 bombers booming above, President Trump will deliver a motherload of campaign promises for his supporters Friday, which is today, to decimate his predecessor's priorities and demonstrate his total dominance over the Republican Party. According to Axios, that's the report. The B-2 bomber stuff. I'm telling you, it's about to go down. It's really about to go down. It's about to get crazy. All right, let's check in on, see what's going on here on Fox. See if anything interesting is going on Fox. No, nothing interesting going on there. Again, we're waiting President Trump. Everybody is waiting for President Trump today. I'm not gonna lie. The views are crazy. Like before people go outside, they want to see Trump. They want to see the signing of this. They want to see it happen. They are very, very excited about it. A lot of people are excited about this. So yeah, the markets are also waiting for a reaction to see what he's going to say during this. Again, we are moments away. Thank you guys for being here. I appreciate y'all for smashing the like button and being here with us. 4th of July, fireworks. This is going to be my first time in Texas during 4th of July. If you have any recommendations for where I should go to watch some of the fireworks, that would be amazing for you. That would be amazing. All right, so here we go. So again, more back to Mamdani. Adams demands Colombia release Mamdani's admission records in which he identified himself as Asian and African American. Oh man, Adams is playing the leftist game on a leftist. The Woodlands. Yeah, everybody's telling me to go to the Woodlands. I think I'm gonna go to the Woodlands. Julio, text me. Shoot me a text, bro. If you're going out to the Woodlands, let me know. I'll go out there for sure. No, I bought my own fireworks. I did, but I kind of want to go see the big fireworks. So maybe I'll link up with Julio, and maybe I'll link up. If anybody is in Texas, let me know. We'll all link up at the Woodlands. I'll go over there. If you're going to be out there, anybody, let me know. Shoot me an email. I'll meet you guys over there for sure. I'll have my gun with me. If you try anything stupid, you will get. You know what I mean? It's a joke. It's a joke. So yeah, so Adams is playing the leftist game. Apparently, he's offended by the fact that Zoran Mandani is okay. Who's black in this picture? All right, that's a silly question, I know, but in 2025, it's a great question to ask. Who is the real black man in this picture? You see Adams, Mayor Adams, Eric Adams, and Zoran Mandani. Who is the black man? Yo, this is going to be good. Oh, man. You know what? I'm going to fly to New York. I'm going to go back in the streets because we got to talk. We got to talk to the American people about this. We really do. We have to talk about this because it's getting pretty crazy. All right. Let's see. What other update do we have? Okay, this is gonna make some people mad. I love y'all. I love y'all. Stick with me here as we wait for Trump to come out and sign the bill. I just want to show y'all your favorite Texas senator. This is what he had to say today. Let's see what he had to say today. Ted Cruz says, "Happy 4th of July. Today is also the 47th anniversary of daring Edeby raid. I was only 5 at the time, but I remember being inspired by the amazing courage of the IDF team that rescued the hostages and killed the terrorists. I thought that's very Texan. That's a very Texan foreign policy. Who told him to post this? And why is he talking about Israel's defense, the IDF? He's talking about Israel. He's celebrating the IDF on July 4th. Okay, I'm going to move on quickly. Just wanted to show y'all that that's what some of our senators are up to today. Don't know why he's not celebrating America. He's over here talking about Israel. It just, again, Ted Cruz, what's up, bro? Like, who paid you to say that? Like, all the he just is he praising another country like on July 4th? Like, what? All right, here we go. Like what? Like what? Like, somebody help me. Like, what is he saying right now?
Let's start out by going to Mark Meredith at the White House with the latest. Hey, Mark.
Charlie, happy 4th of July to you. You're right. We are expecting the pilots of those B-2 bombers from Whiteman Air Force Base out in Missouri, about 90 minutes from Kansas City, to be there on the South Lawn today. But it's unclear if we're going to get to know who they actually are. There's obviously security concerns. The Iranians had made it very clear that they would want revenge for what the U.S. was able to do just a few weeks ago. But the president making it very clear he wants the military men and women who carried out Operation Midnight Hammer to get the recognition they deserve, and of course have that chance to see the White House up close on the 4th of July, which is an event that, you know, most Americans will never even get the chance to experience. The president does like to hold these big 4th of July bash. I remember the last time 5 years ago during COVID. Obviously, it was a little bit subdued because of the pandemic, but then the year prior, we also had that huge military flyover on the National Mall where we saw the presidential jet go by. Tonight, we are expecting the B-2 bomber to also make an appearance over the White House, probably heading towards the Washington Monument and dispersing. It is a beautiful day here in D.C., Charlie. It's in the 80s. Sunny skies. It's going to be an absolutely gorgeous 4th of July. And we would imagine the president is going to have a lot to say, not only about the heroics of those military service members, but also the legislative package Congress just got through yesterday. It has not been signed into law yet, but you're talking about a $3 trillion package that'll overhaul everything from federal spending on the border security, immigration enforcement, but also tax policy, how much Americans will have to pay by next April, whether or not they're getting money from Social Security benefits, overtime, tips, but also your individual tax bracket. There's a lot of stuff we're still trying to go through. This thing was pushed through fairly fast in terms of legislation, at least from what the Senate package was to the House. But a lot of lawmakers are talking about it, and the president wants to take a victory lap. Charlie?
Yeah. The president wants to take a victory lap. Again, how many months are we into this presidency? On July 21st should be about 7 months. We're going into 7 months since he's been there. Man, I'm not gonna lie, time is flying, bro. Time is flying. Yeah, time is moving pretty fast. I gotta be honest with y'all. All right, so many big things happening. Again, let's see, what else do we have here? Let's see, we got an update from Fox News. What the heck? What the heck was that? That's Fox News. The audio is messed up. I hope he vetoes the Democrats' amendments. All right, I did want to show y'all this one. I didn't show y'all what let's go here real quick. This was yesterday on Fox News. Something happened on Fox News that went extremely viral about the CIA. I told you guys about this before. Let's take a listen.
Former CIA Director John Brennan identified 26 Trump associates to be targeted by the Five Eyes Intelligence Alliance. And then those interactions were the targets and were targeted by the FBI as suspicious. And that's how the FBI launched the Russia collusion hoax. The details of this entire operation have been stored in a top secret binder in a secret room in Washington. Trump ordered the whole thing declassified, and now the rumor is that the binder might be missing. Joining me now, one of the reporters who broke the story, Michael Schellenberger. Michael, explain how this all started with the CIA picking these 26 Trump people.
Yeah, good to be with you, Jesse. Well, obviously, this is an extremely serious story and serious allegation by multiple credible sources that Public and Racket, that's Matt Taibbi's publication, have spoken to. These are people that are close to the House intelligence investigation of how the Russia collusion hoax began. The story, as you mentioned, was that, oh, we were just informed by foreign intelligence about this. Our sources tell us a very different story, which is that this was initiated by the U.S. government. It came from within the U.S. government's intelligence community, including the CIA, that they asked the so-called Five Eyes nations intelligence agencies, that's the other English-speaking nations, including Britain and Australia, to spy on 26 Trump associates, or at least they had a list of the 26 associates that were identified. This is new information. Some people have theorized about this and speculated about it. We feel very confident that our sources were in a position to know and are very credible in this report. And it's obviously a very serious allegation because this is illegal spying and it's illegal election interference.
Okay, so you're reporting that the CIA got these allies to bump these 26 Trump associates, create interactions, and then call these interactions suspicious and let the FBI know they were suspicious. And that starts the whole thing. What about this binder that encapsulates this whole thing and no one knows where it is right now, or Trump has it? What's that?
Well, just
Yeah, they're actually talking about this right now. Hold on. Let's actually go to Fox immediately.
Contributor and New York Post columnist Miranda Divine. You know, obviously, Miranda, you and I have talked a lot about this. You have done some truly spectacular work on this from the very beginning. The biggest political story of the past decade is that starting with the Obama administration, actually launched a massive government-wide investigation into its chief political opponent at the height of an election. And that should scare the daylights out of every American.
Yes, thanks, Charlie. It really ought to. And I think we get told by people, oh, stop looking in the rearview mirror. No, unless this crime is exposed and people are brought to accountability for it and become pariah.
I told y'all this is going to be they're going to make a big deal out of this. They're going to wait for July 4th, but the Trump administration, they're going to be on this.
They managed to cripple Donald Trump's first administration. Look at what he's been able to do just in these first 5 months. And he would have been able to achieve much more in his first presidency, which, I mean, he achieved a lot anyway. But if he hadn't been from the get-go crippled and sabotaged, and this was driven by President Obama in the waning days of his presidency after Donald Trump had won the 2016 election, Obama, in what can only be seen as a fit of rage, instructed the intelligence community, John Brennan took control of it, to basically stitch up Donald Trump, to look into how Russia had intervened in the 2016 election, according to Democrats, according to Hillary Clinton, to rig it for Donald Trump. Now, there was no evidence that Donald Trump was favoured. In fact, there was some evidence that they found him too chaotic and that, in fact, maybe Clinton would have been better for the Russians because at least they knew what they were getting. And so, as it turned out, they managed to cook up this intelligence assessment, which was the basis of the entire Russiagate hoax. Yeah. That is what triggered the Mueller investigation, which went on for 2 years and cost hundreds of millions of dollars of taxpayer money, and which in the end concluded there was no Trump-Russia collusion.
And of course, it's important to remember that these hatchet men inside the intelligence agencies were working for politicians and would still be working for those politicians if they hadn't been scrambled out of office. But those same politicians that gave us that are now cooking up their latest hoax, which is the big, beautiful bill is going to kill people. Watch this, and I want to get your reaction on the other side.
I don't think I've ever seen, I don't think we have ever seen or are prepared for how catastrophic this is set to be for a lot of people. And I think it's devastating they're giving people crumbs and they're taking away the whole loaf. And it's just a genuinely really sad day for our country.
You know, I've been talking to my constituents. I've been reading their letters, the fear, the anxiety. I mean, there are literally people that I'm talking to that I represent, Pam, who don't know if they're going to literally survive this.
You know, I don't blame the constituents for being concerned about this, but the reason they're concerned about it is because they're being lied to by the same politicians who are saying all of this stuff.
Absolutely right. I mean, these people are disgusting, and so are the media organs that amplify their lies and that go along with them and lie to their audiences and make them afraid, make them Trump deranged. Really, the Democrats are upset about this and lying about the one big, beautiful bill because it damages their interests, most particularly by pumping all this money into border protection and into the what Hakeem Jeffries said were the greatest deportation in history. I mean, yes, that's what we voted for. We don't want the millions of people that Joe Biden invited into the country, many of whom are criminals and terrorists.
And it's a great reminder that you were one of the very, very few who fearlessly has reported on this from the very beginning. And we're very grateful to you. And
thank you so much for becoming a member. Thank you so much. Titan baby, I appreciate you, man.
Happy Independence Day.
Thank you. Still ahead, Will Kane went to a training facility that helps service members.
All right. So again, we're keeping the updates as to Trump coming out. It's going to be coming out very, very soon. So let's make sure we're ready for that. This is outside of the White House. How many people are watching? Wow, 41,000 people are watching there. What is this?
Of this day is rooted in history. It was noted at the time that they pledged their lives, their fortunes, and their sacred honors. And that was more than rhetoric. Each of those men knew the penalty for high treason to the crown. We must all hang together, Benjamin Franklin said, or assuredly we will all hang separately.
Okay, that's posted by Dan Scavino.
Yeah, that might seem dramatic, but I ain't gonna lie. When you think about the history and how we got here, it was a lot rougher than that. The history of America. America is a very, very young country. 249th birthday today. But man, I gotta say, bro, the way that we got here was very violent. Just say. Yo, so the Zoran Mandani news is blowing up. Salute from the shore. Happy Independence Day. John Fetterman. Somebody said this is one of the only, last week Gallup polled 36%. Democrats are extremely, okay. So maybe this is why thank you so much for becoming members. I appreciate y'all. So John Fetterman, who apparently, according to some of y'all, is probably the only based individual in the Democratic Party nowadays. This is what he had to say today. Last week, Gallup polled only 36% of Democrats are extremely or very proud to be American. In the greatest country in the world, that's just wrong. I'm unapologetically grateful for our nation and the American way of life today and always. Happy birthday, America. John Fetterman. The only proud American Democrat? Yeah, no, I'm not kidding. That's what it seems like. That's what it seems like here. We're just gonna be very, very, very honest. Okay, so real quick, I do have a question, and this is something that's been happening. It's not around my area, but it's apparently there have been There's 6 people. Okay, let me actually put this real quick. Apparently, the death toll rises to 6 in extreme flooding in Texas. Where is this extreme flooding? I'm hearing is by Austin, Texas. Apparently there's been a lot of flooding in Texas lately, and people are losing their lives. So shout out to anybody in Texas. Please let me know if you know anything about that. I got to do a deep research. But apparently that's been happening, and there's been a lot of floodings. Now, I know that there's been a lot of rain. There haven't been that much flooding in my community and where I live, but I do know that I've been hearing a lot about that. Kerrville, Texas, Flatland. Yeah. Yeah, so some of you guys definitely know about that. You guys been hearing about that. That's very very unfortunate, man. Okay. Let's see. What else do we have here? I'm reading some of you guys' comments. Everything in Texas is flat. Flash floods are no joke. We got a lot of Texans here. A lot of Texans here. Excuse me. There's a lot of Texans in the chat. All right, so Trump. Let's see. He made this post. I want to go make sure that we read this post from President Trump. He made a post here on Truth Social about what's going to happen. Let's see if I can find it. I want to make sure that I find this post about today, July 4th. Let's see if we can find it here. July 4th, Independence Day post. Fetterman is scared to vote with Republicans because he knows he's done after that. Yeah, probably. Yeah, I guess we'll have to go to Truth Social to see this post. For some reason, it's not popping up. Texas Hill. Oh, it's making me sign in. Okay, let's sign in. Truth Social. Let's see what Trump has going on. What has he posted on Truth Social today? He posted this. Trump is right about everything. Kissing the American flag. He also posted this. All right, can't play that music. I don't want to get banned. 4 hours ago. Yeah, so he's posted a few things. Let's see, what else do we have here? Okay, so he's posted quite a few things today. Again, he's supposed to be coming out anytime soon now to go to sign the bill. Now let's go back here real quick. All Texans recall Jasmine Crockett. She may have been installed by Dominion voting machines. Uh-oh. LV has a lot to learn. He's still young. I'm old enough to be his daddy. Just because you're old enough to be my dad does not mean that you're bright. So if you think that age gives you a step over knowledge, my man, you got a long way to go in life. Got a long way to go. Got a long way to go. He's old enough to be my dad, sure. I know a lot of Democrats who are older, still dumb, still extremely slow in the head. So, not sure what you're getting at with that one. 25 minutes or more. No, I think it's a little less. See what this is.
These were all taken within the last month. And there's real uniformity here. That's what I really think you see. You see real uniformity. Deport all immigrants who are here illegally, 55% of the New York Times. Marquette, 64%. CBS News, 57%. ABC News with a slightly different question, 56%. So what you're seeing essentially here is very clear indication that a majority of Americans, in fact, when they're asked this blunt question, which I believe gets at the underlying feelings, do in fact want to deport all immigrants who are here illegally. There's no arguing with these different numbers because they're all essentially the same across 4 different pollsters.
So if they say yes today-ish, how has that changed over time?
Yeah, this is where I think you get very interesting. And so we'll take a look at that ABC News question in particular, because you can really see that there's been a massive shift from when Trump was first getting into office 8 years ago, right? Deport all undocumented immigrants. You go back to 2015, I'm going to come to your side of the screen, it was 42%. Hello. Go to 2016, it was 36%. Look at where we are now. This was taken at the end of last year, 56%. This is 20 points higher than it was just before Trump got into office the first time. So feelings towards immigration in this country, feelings towards undocumented immigrants and deporting all of them have become considerably more hawkish. And I think that gives Donald Trump much more leverage to go with the American people and sort of have these hawkish, some might say harsh, different rhetoric and also issue-based sort of going after.
Well, there's an interesting post that just happened here. Apparently, this was controversial that Trump. Thank you so much for your $10 donation. Thank you so much for your $10 donation, Josiah. Thank you so much. Apparently, there is an announcement Trump made. Hopefully, this audio is loud enough. Let's see what this is.
Tom Homan. And we're working on legislation right now. Susie, right? We're working on legislation right now where farmers, look, they know better. They work with them for years. You had cases where, not here, but just even over the years, where people have worked for on a farm for 14, 15 years, and they get thrown out pretty viciously. And we can't do it. We got to work with the farmers and people that have hotels and leisure properties too. We're going to work with them, and we're going to work very strong and smart. And we're going to put you in charge. We're going to make you responsible. And I think that that's going to make a lot of people happy. Now, serious radical right people, who I also happen to like a lot, they may not be quite as happy, but they'll understand, won't they? Do you think so? Madam Secretary, look at you with a white hat on. Do you think they'll understand that? You're the one that brought this whole situation up. Tom Homan.
Yeah, so apparently, breaking President Trump announces he is working on legislation to protect longtime farm and hospitality workers who get thrown out viciously, presumably referring to immigration raids. So that was a huge announcement. I gotta do more research on that, I would say. Yeah, that we definitely gotta do more research on that, because I know that that's a huge topic. Huge topic. Somebody said, let it out, trolls. Let it out, trolls. Is there a lot of trolls in the comments? Let's see. Let's go back here.
President, someone that deserves to be on Mount Rushmore, someone that is in the same sentences, in my opinion, as George Washington.
Does damn, he said Trump should be on the Mount Rushmore. Should Trump be on the Mount Rushmore? Who are you taking out of the Mount Rushmore of presidents? Yeah, so that was the huge announcement. Somebody said, heck yeah, he should be on the Mount Rushmore. Trolls being trolls. Let's see what else we got here. Nah, I don't think it's that many trolls today. I don't know. It doesn't seem like that. Doesn't seem like there's that many trolls today, if I'm being honest, child. So we're adding him to the Mount Rushmore. Okay, so you're not taking anybody out, just going to add him to the Mount Rushmore. There is room. Okay. Let's see what else we got here. Let's go back to yeah, so soon, guys. soon, coming up in a few moments. So make sure to smash the like button. Get ready because it's about to go down. We've gone through so much news in the last hour. We just been zooming through the news of President Trump's Independence Day signing of the big beautiful bill. So we're gonna stay with Fox on that. We're gonna watch it on Fox. I like the sound. I like the audio of it. And we got a lot more stuff to get through as well. So even Canadians want to become American. Are there any Canadians that would love for Canada to be the 51st state? Yeah. I was thinking that much of it. Yeah, it's getting pretty crazy. Let's see what else we got here for breaking news. Don't be a spectator, says the people. The big beautiful bill stuff, the jobs that have been added. Oh, Speaker Mike Johnson has probably made up for a lot of the failures so far. But Speaker Mike Johnson did something on the House floor that needs to be talked about. He did something. Okay, I think this is it right here. This was a crazy, crazy speech.
It says, "In God we trust," right above the Speaker's rostrum. You know, a previous Congress put that there in the early 60s in the height of the Cold War. There's a little visitor's guide that people get when you do tours late at night. You've probably seen your constituents and visitors and friends get the guide. If you turn, I think it's about to page 21. It explains why that's there. And it says, Congress voted to put that there as a rebuke to the Soviets' worldview at the height of the Cold War. Why? Because communism, socialism, find their root in Marxism. And Marxism begins with the belief that there is no God. It's wrong. And this Congress made us stand those many years ago, and we should do it again. We're different, we're distinct, we're exceptional, because we acknowledge that right there, our motto.
Not gonna lie to y'all, he was cooking right here. Thank you so much, Annie, for your $10 donation. Thank you. He was cooking right here.
It doesn't say in government we trust. It says in God we trust. And we better remember that.
Yeah, no, he came through big. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, man. He was cooking. He was cooking today. Yeah, so apparently, again, many Democrats are taking today to shame America, and they're trying to burn the American flags. This was happening earlier. I told you about this earlier. Obviously, they're setting the flag on fire. I don't want to show it, but these are some of the anarchists. This is happening in New York City. Of course, any other place it will happen. Does this happen in Texas as well, where anarchists kind of just come and they start burning the flags, they start protesting against America? Yeah. So that's what it looked like a little earlier today. And a lot of people are saying that they're paid to do this. They're getting paid to have these protests. This is all for design. I want to go back to New York. I want to talk about, okay, we got PJ. Thank you so much for your donation. God showed me in a vision Trump's face on the Mount Rushmore and golden ferns surrounding the flag being removed. God bless Trump. God bless America. Thank you so much for your donation. I appreciate you. New York is Mystery Babylon. And New York is a very crazy place. You got to pray. It's a lot of prayers that have to go into New York. It's pretty crazy. All right. Kamala Harris has a message for us on this live stream. Kamala Harris says, this 4th of July, I am taking a moment to reflect. Things are hard right now. They are probably going to get worse before they get better. But I love our country. And when you love something, you fight for it. Together, we will continue to fight for the ideals of our nation. What? The sky is falling. The sky is falling. It's still falling for the Democrats. Okay, somebody had a response to this. They said, losing over 300,000 illegal kids to trafficking, having our country invaded by over 20 million illegals. Hills up, hoochie. You can go F yourself. Wow, okay. We have to undo the damage she did in a 4 short years. She just needs to learn pickleball and try to fit back into the clubs of Brentwood. Damn. Kamala getting cooked. Yeah, the sky is falling. Okay, somebody else commented, modern day Democrats really do not love this country. Some of this hate has its roots in European history. People emigrated to the United States and transferred their hate from the Tsar, Kaiser, or king to America, never understanding this country is very different from all the other nations. Some were propagandized, propaganda. Hold on, I'm getting a call here. This country is very different from all the other nations. There were rich, entitled influencers. These people are basically followers, not serious, but sometimes vote. And then there is the history of the Democrats, their party being the party of the Confederacy, nullification, and Jim Crow. Democrats are not patriotic, and their history tells us why. That's the response to Kamala Harris. That's the response. All right, let's go see what's going on with the military.
That dozens of times. I had parents come up to me during the Biden years and say, I just don't know that I'd let my kids serve right now. And my answer was always, if you think the people in charge are the bad ones, why leave it to them? We definitely need your kids there. But I think once Pete Hegseth took over as Secretary of Defense and talked about, we're going to set the bar high and see if you can reach it, that was the turning point.
And also the idea that, and you allude to this, the idea that we're going to bomb you if you're lunatics in Iran and you're going to think you're going to get a nuclear bomb, but we're not going to go start some extraneous war somewhere that doesn't matter to us.
No, absolutely. I mean, I got a text from an Army special operator in the Middle East once that happened. He said, hey, we're bunkered down right now. We're not expecting anything, but at least I know if something does happen, they'll let me shoot back.
Right.
And it's that kind of difference in mentality.
Your new book, Behind the Badge, is 2 weeks now on the bestseller list.
I know.
All right. Shout out to him. What's his name again? I want to make sure I get his name. Johnny Joey Jones. I've been interviewed by him before. Cool dude. I know he's like missing a leg, if I'm not mistaken, from something that happened in his past military time. So he has a good story. All right. All right, so we know that Kamala's losing their minds. Obama's losing his mind. We're going to see exactly what's going on here. Again, Zoran Mandani has been caught identifying. Okay, this is it right here. This is what I was talking about. The Republicans in the House of Representatives just passed the One Big Beautiful Bill Act. Says Trump. This is from Trump. Our party is united like never before, and our country is hot. Country is hot. Yeah, who the hell keeps knocking on the door, man, while I'm recording? Who are these people? All right, guys, I'm going to need you guys to do me a favor. I'm going to keep Fox News on. Give me 1 second. Somebody else is knocking on the door.
Military, their families on hand, as well as a number of Republican lawmakers who were instrumental in getting the president's tax and policy package over the finish line just yesterday. It is a festive atmosphere, even though it's in the mid to upper 80s here right now. That sun baking everybody, but nobody seems to be complaining, maybe except the press because we're in our suits. Otherwise, people out here really seem to enjoy the 4th of July event. The president likely to have a lot to say about what this policy package is going to do, not only in terms of tax reform, but also border security. He was in Des Moines last night, and he hinted so much about what he thinks this will mean for his legislative agenda going forward for the rest of the term. Of course, congressional Democrats have made it very clear they're not a fan of this. No Democrats supported the package. They're worried about what it could mean for Medicaid and SNAP recipients. But tonight, though, also about the 4th of July, we talked about it at the top of the hour. We know members of the Air Force that were instrumental in that attack against Iran in June will be here on hand. No indication that they're going to speak, or we'll even see who they are, because their identities are so vital to national security. But we know the president said it was very important for him, Charlie, to bring them out here for this event tonight.
Good stuff. Mark, thank you. The event is close to starting, so stay with us.
If you ain't here to party, you ain't here to party. You pick the wrong.
Lowe's knows savings and convenience, so we have great deals on LG, America's most reliable line of home appliances, like their washer with slam-proof glass lid and dryer with easy load door that opens 2 ways. Shop July 4th deals now at Lowe's. We help, you save.
Looks like we've told people Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance so you only pay for what you need. For the last time.
All right. Sorry about that, guys. Thank you so much for sticking by. Neighbors, that was the first time neighbors have actually come to my door and said hello. Neighbors. Wow, they moved across the street from me. They gave me a gift. Let's see what this gift is. I think it was some cookies. Look, man, you white folks are very welcoming. I tell you that. Yeah, some cookies. Apparently, she baked them. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to eat this, but it was a good gesture. Appreciate them. They have no idea how much that means to me. All right, so here we are. Trump is doing this, by the way. He's signing this bill right in front of the White House. He's not doing it in the Oval Office. This is going to be right in front. There's a spectated crowd. There's a crowd showing up here. This is going to be big. Yeah. Somebody says probably poison. You guys are crazy. Shout out to my neighbors. That was the first group of neighbors that actually said hello. Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. All right. So again, waiting for President Trump to do what he got to do,
including politics and faith and.
No, I'm actually shocked. I am. Somebody said Lou was shocked. I am. I can't lie to you. We are moments away. We are moments away from the big beautiful bill being signed into law. Apparently, 2 hours ago, I told you guys about this report from Axios. With B-2 bombers booming above, President Trump will deliver a motherload of campaign promises for his supporters Friday, decimate his predecessor's priorities, and demonstrate his total dominance over the Republican Party. That's what this is going to be about. This is going to be big, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be big. Again, we're getting ready for that. That's just moments away. I'm actually excited to see what this is going to be, what it's going to look like. Let me make sure that I get a camera view here. So I think the White House is actually going live for this. So let's make sure that we get a camera view. This is going to be pretty amazing. Okay, so here we go. So this is what it looks like right now, ladies and gentlemen. We're waiting. We're waiting. Supreme Court ruling. So show us the cookies. All right, I'll show you guys the cookies. Boom. Okay, it's a brownie. Okay, brownie. Oh, just brownies. All right. Like I said, I'm not gonna eat them, but yeah, I don't want to get high on these brownies. I don't know what they have, but they're cool. They were cool. All right, waiting. We're waiting for Trump to come out. We've been on for 1 hour and 28 minutes. See what else is live here. Let's make sure that we get it going. Holding on to traditions. They look good. They do look good. I ain't gonna lie. They smell amazing. Beware of the brownies. Yeah, they do smell amazing. But I don't know. I don't know if I should eat that. I'll be honest. Might make you extra happy. I don't think I want to be extra happy. I'm already happy enough. While the White House looks crisp and clean, and now I'm going to get some cookies, Lou. Thanks. What's happening? It's happening. This is look how many people are out there. This is dope. You know, I got to start getting invited to stuff like this. You know what? You got to start reaching out to some of the Trump administration people, man. Start inviting me to stuff like this. How do these people even get to witness history like this? This is history, man. Yeah. So here we go. Let's see. It's about to happen. Let's see. All right, here we go.
presidency. Some of the main points: no tax on tips for overtime, child tax credit jumps to $2,200 per child, and a major increase to defense and border funding. Speaking in Iowa yesterday, President Trump shared his vision for America.
Together, as we look forward to the 250th year of American independence, we will make America powerful again. We will make America wealthy again. We will make America healthy again. We will make America strong again. We will make America proud again. We will make America safe again. And we will make America great again.
The president and first lady will also be hosting military families for a picnic at the White House in just a few minutes. Joining me now to discuss some of the hosts of tonight's big Independence Day special, Joey Jones, Carly Shimkus, and Griff Jenkins. Let me start with you, Joey, just because you're here in studio. We were just talking about this. You know, when you look at this new sort of this America First agenda that is embodied in this big, beautiful bill and that Donald Trump has been talking about so much, what does that mean to serve?
Someone said, wow, the trolls went quiet.
Well, there's a lot of defense spending in this bill, and that means a lot to men and women that are, charged with protecting.
Both of his legs are actually gone. I didn't know that. Thought it was just one.
Forgotten for a while. Now they don't. We celebrate the stealth bombing in Iran and move on to this bill that brings a lot of funding in for Iron Dome and everything else that we need. And hopefully it'll come with some better military housing and pay too.
Griff, you're a creature of Washington. You know your way around that town very well. How extraordinary was it that that this Congress managed, with the narrowest majority in history, managed to get this thing through?
Listen, if President Trump is the quarterback, the MVP here is Speaker Johnson. You even had J.D. Vance saying he was skeptical at times, but it will be interesting, Charlie, now to hear from the president, because the big, beautiful bill will likely be the big, beautiful law once he speaks. And I think he will take to the American public to sell why this is so good for the military, for border enforcement, for taxes, for Americans in their pocketbooks. And as we know, the best salesman for the Trump administration is a guy named Donald J. Trump.
This is true. You know, Carly, I know you're still up here in New York, so you're not at the picnic. And so is it a picnic if Carly's not there? I don't think it is.
You are so sweet.
but I know that the Independence Day special that you'll be helping host will be spectacular. What should we be looking for?
Oh, we're going to have a whole lot of fun. There's going to be fireworks. We're going to be doing music. We're going to be celebrating the United States of America as well. I said it before, and it's true. There's no more patriotic place to be than watching our Independence Day special on the Fox News channel on the 4th of July. And Charlie, if I could for a second also talk about this moment that's going on right now, because I think that it took a unique level, and this is something that we're also going to be talking about during the special, of bravery and real belief from a small group of people in July 4th, 1776, to found this country, which is what we're all celebrating today. But I also think Republicans are celebrating the knowledge that their party has a leader who is also willing to take similar bold action. And yesterday during the president's speech in Iowa, he talked about two different ways that other countries view the United States. And one was the withdrawal from Afghanistan, and the other is Operation Midnight Hammer. And he also paused and said, what an incredible 2 weeks it's been. And that wasn't guaranteed. It's a risk to authorize that strike. It's also a risk to try and pass your legislative agenda all at once. But that is what he did, and it appears to be paying off. He's going to be signing that agenda into law on the 4th of July. And for a guy who likes military parades and his birthday is on Flag Day, that is also a notable achievement.
You know, it's remarkable. We focus when we're talking about politics so much in Washington, but of course, even in a place like New York, Carly, there's a different. You can feel the difference in the atmosphere.
Yeah, you absolutely can. And I feel like the entire country can has gone through a period of time where it's almost like we're in a post-America moment where people weren't celebrating American exceptionalism. You could see it in movies and TV shows. And now if you see those moments in movies and TV shows, you go, oh, that was clearly filmed in 2020. Like we're beyond that now. And I think that is also a reason to celebrate today.
And it's such an important reminder. Nothing is guaranteed. You've got to fight for everything. And we look forward to watching all of you all tonight. Watch the Fox News July 4th special tonight, starting at 8 p.m. Eastern. Thanks for joining us. I'm Charlie Hurt. Keep it on Fox as the president gets ready to sign the big, beautiful bill and kicks off his July 4th celebration.
All right. So that's what's going on. We got different camera angles. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Let me do a refresh to this live stream real quick. If you have not smashed the like button, please smash the like button, ladies and gentlemen. If you have not told me where you're watching from, please let me know where you guys are watching from. Welcome. I know we got some fresh new people here coming through. We've been on live stream for about 2 hours. How many hours have we been on live stream for? An hour and 35 minutes. Not quite 2 hours, but we've been on here for a while. So yeah, quick refresh. Here are all the camera angles as to Trump. He's coming out in just a few moments. So yeah, very, very, very excited about that, ladies and gentlemen. We got Wisconsin in the building. We got Michigan in the building. We got Honolulu. We got New Mexico, Connecticut. So we got India, buddy. What would you like to do? Please don't press 1. That is crazy. Please press 2, buddy. Am I being racist? That's not racist, right? All right, Texas, North Carolina, Maryland, out of this world, somebody says. Indiana. All right, cool. Shout out to you guys. Thank you so much for pulling up. I appreciate y'all. Massachusetts in the building, Illinois, Colorado, Alabama. Ooh, Alabama. What are you doing here? Alabama. All right, let's see what else we got. Again, waiting on Trump to come out in just a few moments. Let's see what else we got here. Let's see.
Rebecca, thank you so much. And that is just one aspect, of course, of that 940-page big, beautiful bill that did pass the House yesterday after passing the Senate earlier in the week. President Trump is going to sign that into law right here in front of us, likely going to give some comments as well, as there is a microphone there. All of this corresponding not just with the 4th of July, but also the 5 p.m. Eastern Time picnic for military families that he is going to host alongside First Lady Melania Trump. Again, final preparations here are getting underway, as we do have several cameras in that location showing you just how many people have gathered there outside of the White House for this event. Again, it should begin any moment now, and we are going to bring it to you in full, live and uninterrupted on Live Now from Fox. Now, we also have this post that just came in from the White House. Take a look at your screen as they posted that photo on the left-hand side of your screen, saying, on this Independence Day, we honor the courage of our founding fathers, the patriots who forged our freedom, and the heroes who have defended it for 249 years. Under President Trump, the American spirit is back, bold, proud, and free. Happy 4th of July from the White House. Again, that is a post here on X with that image saying Happy 4th of July, Independence Day, and a photo of President Trump. And speaking of President Trump, we are waiting on his arrival. It should be just about any minute. But I also want to remind you that this is just part of the celebration that we are going to have here on Live Now from Fox as the night does progress, because we have 4th of July fireworks starting at 8 p.m. Eastern Time as the sun goes down on the East Coast, all the way through midnight, possibly even later, as we see those fireworks celebrations from the East Coast over to the West Coast. Mike Page and Austin Westfall will be in the hot seats with everything you need to know, bringing you all of these different celebrations here throughout the night. For now, as we do await the arrival of President Donald Trump, we are going to head to a quick 2-minute break, but a lot more live news coming up here in just...
What time is it? It's 4:05. What does it say? Oh, okay, got it. It's 5 o'clock Eastern time. It is 4 o'clock Central time. Okay, cool.
For service members' quality of life.
I spoke with the president last night on Air Force One, and he was ecstatic about the ability to defend America by making sure that our military troops were supported with what they need, $150 billion in this bill, going to make sure that we can hold off our adversaries, whether they're in Tehran, Moscow, or Beijing.
The $1 billion for border security will replenish the $1 billion that the Army moved from barracks upgrades and maintenance earlier this year when the Pentagon sent 8,000 troops to the border. The money spent on service members' quality of life improvements, about 6% of the defense spending passed today, will be offset by the cuts to SNAP food assistance that many military veterans and families rely on.
It gives $150 billion more to the Pentagon, not for peace or security, but to line the pockets of defense contractors. This is on top of record levels of defense spending that we already provide the Pentagon in our annual spending bills. For all you budget hawks out there, let me ask you, when was the last time the Pentagon passed an audit? The answer is never.
About $15 billion, Jillian, will go to modernizing the nation's nuclear arsenal. Jillian.
All right, Jennifer Griffin here in the newsroom for us tonight for a change. Thank you. So the White House is celebrating their major legislative victory, but before the win, you might be aware there was a whole lot of drama in both chambers of Congress. Tonight, we examine what the president, the Senate Majority Leader, and House Speaker have accomplished, what lies ahead, and what could ultimately cause some heartburn with this legislation. Correspondent Madeline Rivera shows us tonight from Washington. Hi, Madeline.
Hey, Jillian. Passing the One Big Beautiful Bill took a lot of coordination between President Trump and Republican leadership. This was especially challenging for House Speaker Mike Johnson, who's had to work with a narrow GOP majority, but he appears to be getting used to navigating the tight margin. In March, the House avoided a government shutdown by a vote of 217 to 213. One Democrat joined the GOP to vote yes. And in May, a $9.4 billion resistance package clawing back money lawmakers have already approved passed the House by one vote and with no Democrat support. Johnson says his record is due in large part to his ability to listen to different factions of the House Republican Conference.
So my leadership style is I try to be a servant leader. I know what every member of this body, every member of this conference brings to the table. And the leader's job is to bring out everybody's best and get them to their highest and best use. And that takes some time.
Today also marks a crucial point between Johnson and Senate Majority Leader John Thune, who before this year hadn't worked closely together. Throughout the negotiations, Johnson and Thune publicly maintained the two chambers of Congress were aligned in their goals, even if there were disagreements behind closed doors. The president is heaping praise on Thune and Johnson, but House Republicans are still unhappy with the Senate essentially jamming them to pass the bill by July 4th. There are questions as well over whether the House Freedom Caucus will continue its resistance, even though its members ultimately caved to this bill.
When we looked at this entire package, the significant agreements we got with the administration in the last 24 hours made this package a much, much better package than the bill on its own.
Johnson has indicated he'd like to pass two more reconciliation bills by next year while the GOP has full control of Congress. Jillian.
All right, Maddie Rivera here in Washington for us tonight. Thank you. We're standing by awaiting President Trump's arrival on the South Lawn to sign the One Big Beautiful Bill. While we await him, let's go ahead and bring in our panel now. We have Trey Gowdy, former congressman from South Carolina, also the host of Sunday Night in America with Trey Gowdy. We've also got Steve Clemens, editor-at-large for The National Interest, and Charles Hurt, co-host of Fox and Friends Weekend. Trey, you know, the president is going to be at this military families picnic at the White House. He's then going to sign his signature legislation into law, then going to watch fireworks on the South Lawn with his friends and family. Is this the best night of his presidency?
It's pretty good. I mean, it is rare to, I mean, first of all, you've already made reference to the narrow majorities, but let's not overlook this old-fashioned notion of actually keeping your campaign promises. He ran on this, no tax on tips, on overtime, Social Security, a stronger border. This may be, it may be the best night of his presidency, although if he were on with you, Julian, he would say there are many more victories to come and you'll get tired of winning.
Charlie, what do you make of the big, beautiful bill? I know that you guys on Fox and Friends Weekend have spent a lot of time talking about, the ins and outs here. Is it a big victory overall?
Oh, I think it's an extraordinary victory, especially when you look at the House, which, as Trey knows better than any of us, it's maybe the most dysfunctional place on the planet. And the idea that they managed to get that through with the narrowest majority that you can possibly have is truly, truly extraordinary. And obviously, these big, massive bills are kind of disgusting always. They've got all kinds of stuff in it that you don't like. It's why they call it the making of the sausage. But there are, most importantly, some really huge things in it that are part of the America First agenda. Maybe the biggest thing is the idea that it avoids a massive, massive tax hike on American taxpayers and the economy, but also some significant wins like the no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, an increase in the deductions that seniors can claim for Social Security. Obviously, I believe that Social Security payments should not be taxed at all because that money has already been taxed like 8 times by Washington, and they've done nothing but throw the money away. So, but getting at least some, getting some toehold on reducing those taxes for seniors is a tremendous win. And so, you can, when you look at the totality of it, there's a lot of really good stuff in here. It is the Donald Trump America First agenda. And I think that Republicans, if they're smart about it and they defend the bill and they run on it, I think it could actually benefit them tremendously going forward.
Steve, if you had to take one line item out of this bill, what would it be?
Probably, I'd either do the gamblers provision or the whaling captains. I mean, there's a lot in this bill, as Charles was just getting at, that the public has not really seen or gotten their head around. The problem with the one big, beautiful bill is that it's really, really big. And it creates a hypocrisy for many Republicans. It's a huge win for Donald Trump. I completely agree. But it's an uncomfortable win for a lot of other Republicans, a lot of the pork and the carve-outs that remain in it, the huge increase in debt, the rise in the debt ceiling, which so many Republicans fought Democrats on before. So there's a lot in this bill that I would put in the very uncomfortable category politically for the Republican Party. But there's no doubt that securing the tax cuts of 2017, the focus on immigration, I agree with my colleagues, all of those are big wins for Donald Trump. But there will be costs for this bill down the road. And I would say about the whaling captains, I didn't even know we had whaling captains. They turned out to be Native Alaskan whaling captains. And they got a big, big tax carve out in this, and maybe they deserve that, but it's something I didn't know would be part of this, or that a parliamentarian would even allow that into this bill.
Well,
I'm sure that the Inuit whaling captains are more popular than most members of Congress.
I'm sure that's true.
I think, the bottom of your shoe is more popular than most members of Congress, if you go by the polls. Trey, at the end of the day, the bill in its draft form turned into this kind of like Washington Rorschach test where lawmakers saw in it what they wanted to see. They didn't see what they did not want to see. For us normal folks, us civilians out here who didn't read the 1,000+ pages of text, we're really dependent on what folks have told us is in this bill. The contents truly will not become known to us for weeks, months, years.
Well, don't feel bad, Julian. Most members didn't read it either, so go easy on yourself. I think the messaging is going to be really, really important. So the Democrat playbook is it's not fair, whatever that means. That's what Obama said. Everybody should pay their fair share, but he never said what that was. And also that it's a gift to billionaires. Other than Scott Bessent, I struggle to think of any billionaires that voted for Donald Trump. So Republicans have to, Elon may have, but
I was just going to say all the tech bros.
No.
All the tech pros
well,
who were
I
at
don't know how many
inauguration.
voted for him. They just showed up at the inauguration. Some of them dressed, some of them not. But they showed up when he won. But I'm not sure how many of them supported him when he was running. Republicans have got to push back on that. They've got to stand up for the middle class. There's one other thing. There was an extra provision in this for senior citizens. So I'm incredibly happy for people like Charlie that are over age 65. They're going to benefit from this extra deduction. I didn't know it was going to be in there.
He doesn't look a day over 64, by the way, since we're, flattering Charlie right now. Charlie, the other day on our air, the chairman of House Ways and Means, Jason Smith, said that 2/3 of the tax cuts in the bill will go to people who make less than $500,000. Great. Yeah. Everybody can support that. But doesn't that mean that 1/3 of the tax cuts are going to go to people who make more than $500,000? That's harder to get behind for most Americans.
Yeah, and I think that the harder part of this for Republicans will be defending how the taxes didn't go up the way they would have gone up if the bill hadn't passed. To me, that is kind of a harder thing to defend, but I think you can defend it. But again, that goes back to how broken Washington is, how broken Congress is. The fact that we do these stupid bills that with expiring provisions in it that like such as tax cuts that you then have to vote on again because you were too much of a loser to get it done properly the first time. These are real problems, and I don't know how you go about fixing them. But we saw from these initial tax cuts originally that everybody said it's all for the rich and the wealthy and all this kind of stuff. And of course, that turned out to be completely not true. The record showed that that actually the tax cuts, the original tax cuts, Trump tax cuts from the first term, overwhelmingly helped working class people and lower income people far more.
Charlie,
than
hold
wealthy.
it there 1 second. Sorry to interrupt you. We are now seeing the beginning of this presidential flyover. You can see it there. We are awaiting President Trump's remarks. Now approaching the podium, we are going to stand by and listen.
At the twilight last noon, such bright and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the rampart we marched, were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
I think we were talking about how this is kind of lining up to probably be one of the best, if not the best night of the president's entire term.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right about that. I think that this has.
And we've kept them a little bit on guard. We kept them a little bit, let's be a little bit quiet about it. But if you want to raise your hand very quickly, raise your hand, because you people are just incredible. They don't want to be in disguise. They say, we don't have to do that. They're looking at us like we're a bunch of babies. We don't have to be in disguise. We saw all those hands go up. Thank you very much. We owe you everything. Great job. Incredible. Just flawless. one of the most flawless military campaigns in the history of our country. If you remember years ago, they had helicopters crashing into each other. It was a disaster, the hostages in Iran. And we had just the opposite. We didn't have any crashes. We didn't lose any planes. We didn't lose anybody. Those beautiful planes that you saw were totally stealth. They flew right over the center of a very hostile country, and they never even saw it coming. And then they said, skedaddle. They dropped the bombs. They said, skedaddle. And that big sucker turned over like this on its side, and it got out of there. Well, I'll tell you what, how they do that, but they can do it. I asked our great General Kane, how do they do that? Do they really love doing that? Look at them, they're all laughing. And they said, do they really like doing it, sir? They can't wait. Better you than me. That's all I can say. It was a flawless mission. Every single bomb hit, and it was total obliteration, total obliteration. Now, even the fake news is admitting that. They hated to admit it, but they had no choice. That was an incredible thing. And these heroic pilots showed our enemies what it means to fly, fight, and win. To every service member who supported that mission, and we have many of them here. We've made we've made you proud by supporting, but you've made us even prouder by having the courage to get in those gorgeous machines and fly through the roughest airspace anywhere in the world. And we salute you and we honor you. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you. And we're also honored and delighted to be joined by hundreds of service members and military families. Those families are the best we have from all across the U.S. Armed Forces, Army, Navy, Air Force, Space Force. I love the Space Force. You know why? Because we're the ones that did it. It turned out to be a very invaluable force, actually. The Coast Guard and the Marines are incredible people. On behalf of our entire nation, this 4th of July, we thank you for keeping America safe, strong, sovereign, and free. Thank you very much for being here. Great honor. And stick around for the fireworks. And our country's had so much to celebrate this Independence Day. As we enter our 249th year, America is winning, winning, winning like never before. We're not, I'll tell you, we're in a category now that's where we've wanted to be for a long time. We suffered with 4 horrible years of embarrassment. Afghanistan may be the most embarrassing moment in the history of our country. We're never going to let a thing like that happen again. Trillions of dollars are pouring into the United States for investment purposes. Almost $15 trillion. There's never been anything like it. There's never been anything even close. The stock market's at an all-time high. Jobs are at an all-time high. Everything's at an all-time high, and we're going to keep it that way. We have the greatest country in the world, and we're back. We're back like nobody thought possible this quickly. I thought it would take maybe a year, maybe 2 years, maybe even 3. And we did it in less than 6 months. We are back and strong. We've restored American strength and deterrence on the world stage. We're respected again. The world is respecting us again. When we did NATO, those leaders came up to me and they said, you know what, we're going to go to a new level of spending because you're requesting it, sir. They didn't talk to you last president like that, I can tell you. They didn't spend any money. They didn't spend anything. In a few moments, we're going to make official the greatest victory yet when I signed the one big, beautiful bill. And before I start, I want to tell you that I've never seen people so happy in our country because of that, because so many different groups of people are being taken care of, the military and civilians of all types, jobs of all types. We're adding things like the biggest tax cut in the history of our country, child tax credits. So many things are being added that we wouldn't even have time to discuss them. When we were doing it, John Thune and Mike Johnson right there. I see Mike. What a job they've done. What a job they've done. But you know, it was supposed to be in 3, 4, 5, 6, or 7 different bills. And I was in one of the most popular bill ever signed in the history of our country. Whether you're military or anybody else, this is the most popular bill ever signed. And it includes the largest tax cut in American history, the largest spending cut, $1.7 trillion. And yet you won't even notice it. Just waste, fraud, and abuse in American history. So you have the biggest tax cut, the biggest spending cut, the largest border security investment in American history. We want to have strong borders. And the only thing is we want to have great elections, too. You need strong borders and elections. And my people have promised me that we're going to go into elections and we're going to make sure they're not rigged, that they're not sullied. We're going to make sure that the elections are going to be fair. You need two things. You need strong borders and you need fair elections. And we're going to make sure on the elections also. And our armed forces are one of the most vital military modernizations of all time. It will take place. So we rebuilt our military in our first term. And now we're going to modernize and remodernize our military, including building a great golden dome all over our land so that if they get nasty with us, it's going to be knocked down. It's going to make any of the golden domes, they call them the iron domes. We're calling ours the golden dome because we did the iron domes and we do sort of everything, if you want to know the truth, but this blows it away. We're going to keep you safe. I want to thank every member of the House and Senate who worked to get this bill on my desk, and many of them are here, and I'm not going to mention all their names because we'll be standing here, but I have to mention a few, and especially I want to thank Vice President J.D. Vance, who's been fantastic, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who's been incredible. We have somebody that it was a passion. I think he actually loved it. It wasn't easy, but he loved it. Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, who's right here. Speaker, thank you very much. What a job, and he worked so closely with the Senate Majority Leader, John Thune, who's a fantastic guy. And those two are a team that is not going to be beat. When you look at them and you look at their counterparts on the other side, it's not even close. I want to thank both of you people for doing an incredible job. Thank you very much, John and Mike. House Majority Leader Steve Scalise, a brave man. Steve, you know, he suffered a tragedy a number of years ago. I was at his hospital bedside that night with Melania, with our First Lady, and he had no chance. The doctor said he has very little chance, and you look better today than you did then. You didn't look particularly good that night, I will say. But I learned one thing, his beautiful wife loved him. She was a disaster, right? I told him, I said, Steve, I can only tell you one thing. I was with your family and I was with your wife, and your wife was devastated. She loves you. I've seen a lot of wives that, they don't seem to be so concerned in those situations. That's the kind of wife you don't want. But you have a great, beautiful wife who was really there, and you really have done. You're a very brave guy, and Mike and John and everybody that's standing with you knows it. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. House Majority Whip, this is a guy who is great. When I have a problem, I call him up and he gets it done. He's a tough cookie. I don't know why he's not the governor of Minnesota. He comes from Minnesota. He's like, oh, look, he goes, no, I don't want to run for governor. You know, come to think of it, I think that's a good idea. You would win so easily. The guy is terrible. You would win. You just have to take a look at that handsome face of yours and you'd win. Tom Emmer, everybody. He did a great job. I think you should consider that, although we don't want to lose him, do we? We don't want to. Let's say we are. I think say we are. What a job you did. And Senate Majority Whip John Barrasso, who's incredible. Senate Finance Chairman Mike Crapo. Thank you, Mike. What a job. What a job. He knows that tax stuff. Him and Jason, they really know their stuff. Senate Budget Committee Chairman Lindsey Graham. What a good man he is. I see a poll. He's running, and I see a poll. He's 24 points up. That's not bad, Lindsey. That's not bad. 24 points up in the great state of South Carolina. House Ways and Means Chairman Jason Smith. What a job. Thank you, Jason. Thank you. These people are great. These are great patriots. I have to call them out. House Budget Committee Chairman Jody Arrington. Jody, thank you very much. Jody has been good right from the beginning, and so many others, and they're all here, and they fully understand. They'll never speak to me again, but that's okay. It is what it is. But I just want to thank everybody. A lot of senators here, a lot of congressmen and women here. Lisa, thank you very much, by the way. I have to thank you. Thank you very much. You've been fantastic. So this bill will fuel massive economic growth and lift up the hardworking citizens who make this country run. The factory workers, farmers, mechanics, waiters, waitresses, police officers, firefighters, coal miners. Coal is back. Beautiful. I said you can't use the word coal unless you precede it by saying clean, beautiful coal. But China's right now building 68 coal generating plants, and we're putting up wind. It doesn't work, I will tell you. Aside from ruining our fields and our valleys and killing all the birds and being very weak and very expensive, all made in China. I noticed something, that with all of the windmills that China sends us, where we waste our money because it's the most expensive energy, I see that, they make about 95% of them, the wind turbines. I have never seen a wind farm in China. Why is that? Somebody check that out. Tom Emmer, would you please check that out? But all the coal miners we love and the truck drivers, in this act, we have officially made the Trump tax cuts permanent. That's the largest tax cut in the history of our country, added to substantial other cuts, which is you're going to see like a rocket ship. We're setting all sorts of economic records right now, and that's before this kicks in. After this kicks in, our country is going to be a rocket ship economically, and we've delivered no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security for our great seniors. And that's why when you hear things like that, this is the most it's the biggest bill of its kind ever done by far. But we are going to have a situation, we are going to have something where people are going to realize the level of success and popularity of this bill. And sort of to close it out, it makes the child tax credit permanent for 40 million American families. And to increase the car affordability, it makes interest on a new car payment. So this had never happened before. You buy a car, you borrow money, you're allowed to deduct for income tax purposes your payment of interest. You're allowed to deduct it. It's never happened before. So run out and buy a car. But I have to tell you, it's only good, Mike, if it's made in America. If it's made in another country, you don't get it. And to protect 2 million family farms and other small businesses, we're eliminating the estate tax or the death tax. So if you want to leave your farm or your small business, but the farms they have been devastated, to your children, if you love your children. By the way, if you don't love your children, don't even listen to what I'm saying. It doesn't matter. But if you love, would you live? Yes, I think you love your child. This one loves Barron. So I don't know if we're a small business. I think we're not. I'm not sure that we qualify. I'm sorry, darling. But it was devastating. Farmers, they had to go out and borrow money. And by the way, is that Pam Bondi? Pam Bondi, raise your hand. Thank you, Pam, for being here. Attorney General, she's done an incredible job. So there won't be any, think of this, there won't be any death tax. You're not going to have to go borrow money. Your parents pass away in the farm.
Hands. And I thought that was a very touching moment. And I thought it kind of explained why when the B-2 flew over, the look on Melania's, the First Lady's face when she looked up, she looked deeply emotional as she watched the B-2 fly over. And I just thought that was a very sweet and powerful moment.
Trey, what's your reaction to all of this?
I was just thinking about, look, President Trump is the reason this got done, but John Thune and Mike Johnson are two of the more decent people in that particular line of work. And I do think they deserve the credit that the president gives them. They have a fractious caucus that they have to deal with, especially Mike. Some of the worst left, but it's still a fractious conference. So I think the president deserves the overwhelming majority of the credit. But John Thune and Mike Johnson, he was correct to point them out.
Steve, to Trey's point, Speaker Johnson is somebody who, never mind most Americans, most members of Congress had never heard of until recently.
Oh, he's done an extraordinary job. Donald Trump is on a string of wins, one after another. Legislatively, they come out by the skin of their teeth. When they don't look like it's going to necessarily work out. I think, Mike Johnson and some of the people around him somehow had good makeup put on, because I know these guys are exhausted. They didn't sleep, get any sleep for over 24 hours. This thing was being negotiated in the dead of night and morning, and there was no deal. I think what Trey just said about being a fractious caucus is absolutely right. And through a combination of basically smart politics, elbow twisting that we haven't kind of seen since Lyndon Baines Johnson, in my view, a Democrat that was really tough and got what he